not even the transfer portal. I know we're about to start off with one of the biggest guys coming into this year's team, and it's crazy to think he was a 2021 commit, but this is Destyn Hill, someone who I really enjoyed watching his film while in high school. He just now enrolled into Florida State. He's going to begin workouts with Coach Storms and them, but a big time wide receiver coming into Florida State that also will make an impact in special teams at punt return, like Mike Norvell said in his statement, welcoming him to Tallahassee.
Yeah, he seems like a hell of a ball player. And then I worked with a guy that was from that area in the Carr High School, Brock Hayes, who's now the running backs coach at Troy. But when we were at Southern Miss together, they would send him into these areas and like go to schools like this. And he's got a very good connection there. But man, like you want to talk about like some hard nosed, like brought up like not very easy lives. And if you can persevere through like coming out of here, I mean, you're going to have a hell of a life probably. And, there's some damn good football players that come out of there and some damn good football coaches too. And then obviously it's Louisiana. So I'm sure, his family members can cook gumbo pretty damn well too. I don't know if you've ever been around there, Dustin, have you?
No, I have not. I've been to New Orleans a few times, but not a whole ton. We were there for the LSU game, obviously, and had a good time. But I did spend some with my family a couple years ago. But some damn good food. I like spicy food, so that place fit me pretty well.
Dude, I got a recipe from a Cajun friend of mine, and it's pretty amazing. Well, his family's Cajun, and it's all about the roux, man. It's how you stir the roux. But right here, this dude's got the roux for sure. He knows how to do it. I mean, he's making people miss. This is a kickoff return from high school. I mean, that's all the film we have of him, obviously, but he's just different compared to the rest of the dudes on the field. Obviously, one of their best players, and he's just physical. Just catches a quick ball, slams to the ground. And he's just hard to bring down. I mean, he's not like the biggest dude in the world, but he's very elusive. I mean, yes, it's just poor tackling by a lot of these guys, yes. But either way, he's dominating on film. And there's a multitude of film. He's just burning guys like this. And the quarterback just throws it up out of this guy and just catches it every time. And this is what I like right here. I mean, you got to be careful when you catch a touchdown and all that and get in dudes' faces, but he's competitive. He's trying to play mind games with these guys. And I can appreciate that. It's like that Michael Jordan shit,
See, that first play that Destyn had there where he was just getting a quick pass, that's something that Florida State was doing last season with Micah Pittman. Micah Pittman no longer on the roster and has found his new home in the Pac-12, going back to the Pac-12 with Utah. But Destyn Hill is going to be utilized in a lot of different ways.
That was a hard one. That was unexpected, too. I don't know if it was for you guys or not, but like when I heard that, I was like, damn, why would he want to leave? But he's a West Coast guy anyway, wasn't he?
Yep, played high school with Johnny Wilson. Yep, and so that him going back, I wasn't a crazy shock, but I don't think we expected him to be leaving. The big thing that we knew about was about his health concerns, and he's dealing with a hip injury, and Florida State didn't know. I think from their end didn't know how available he would be going into this 2023 season. And right now, Florida State's trying to make a run, and like you were saying earlier, Bryan, it's kind of like cuts now in college football, and they're going to try to find people in the portal that are able to attribute and play and at least be a depth piece that you can rely on when you're trying to make a run and going against Clemson probably twice this upcoming season if you're going to go to a college football playoff. So you got to work in the transfer portal and find some help immediately.
And yeah, I mean that's tough too, because obviously I've been a coach and we've had to surf through that portal ourselves as coaches. Now everybody's got like a staff that goes through all that. Like you have people on staff just to go through that all day long, and but that helps them do their homework a lot quicker and better and more efficient. And they've done a great job of doing their homework, with some of these guys. And there's always something with a transfer. Either one, it's like the elite guys that want the top bid, most money, or it's kids with a little bit of, maybe they got some attitude and they're just, the coaches are sick of them. Hey, you're a good player, but we're going to find better. There's the door. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out. Good player, though. If you ever need anything, let me know, but I don't think it's a good fit. And I think there's some of those guys that we've got, and but hopefully they can turn a new leaf. I'm not going to point out who, but I've just heard some things about a few guys. And but it's a new chance. It's a new start. And, you just got to be careful with that damn portal. But the higher up you are and the better players you get, the better off you are. Now, if you're in a high school looking in the portal, man, you're going to deal with some shit. You're going to have to be up on the phone in the middle of the night, making sure this dude's not getting arrested, all kinds of shit. So, two different worlds. Right here, here's a little stutter and go. He's the receiver down here to the bottom. I guess I should have pointed these out. Sorry about that. This thing's all jacked up. Right here, he's going to stutter, try to collect them, and just go. And we're just going to try to toss it up over the top. I mean, this is a natural thing to do if you're a receiver. If you can do that and you can sell it, see how he does with his head, and he stutters, pumps his feet. So he slightly turns that head inside. You know what I'm talking about. You played. But dude just throws over the top. Beautiful catch. And then his film right here just is nothing but breaking away for people.
Explosive.
Just extremely explosive. He's got a very strong lower body.
And on Terry Wilson, you lose him going in this upcoming season. He's off. Got picked up by the Chargers and undrafted free agency, and that was Jordan Travis's go-to guy going deep and definitely on their big explosive plays, trying to grab 6. And Mike Norvell loved going to Pokey, and they had a lot of reliability with Pokey. He went with the system for all of Mike Norvell's years at Florida State. So, finding players like that can come in and do that. Another player who's going to be explosive is Ja'Kai Douglas. And, Florida State's going to try to utilize Destyn in a lot of different ways. They wanted to do that in 2022, but, things like that, it just didn't work out. But now he's here. That's a good thing.
Yeah, thank God, right? I mean, we're very fortunate the guys that we were able to get in there and replace. But right here, this is a younger. Remember earlier, I was like, I don't know who was who in this one clip you're looking at, but this is when he was like a sophomore and he's a receiver and he's blocking. And I think that is huge. I need to find that in the film if I'm these guys going through the portal or just in general. I know he's not from the portal, but if I'm looking on a guy on film, if I'm trying to find the dudes that had little characteristics that you can't figure out, right? You can't figure out unless you get on the phone or you go see him in person. But there's a lot you can see a little, see a lot, see nothing. You can see it on film. If he's a receiver that's going to block, he's probably more of a reliable guy. And he's more consistent. And those are the kind of guys you want that are unselfish, come in there, just do their jobs, lock on to somebody, try to make it work. Not overly physical, but it makes it work.
Mike loves it.
I love wide receivers that can block. It just makes my heart happy, especially my offensive line heart, right?
Yeah.
So like right here, here's another one just burning people right over the top. He's a very smooth runner. And, who knows the competition right here? Like, I don't know. I mean, I know there's some good football, there's some bad football. This clip impressed me right here. He's going to run a seam over the middle. That means he's got some courage. I mean, there's dudes around him, and that safety in the middle right there could probably, he's not far from smacking his ass. And then he's got this other dude coming across as well. I mean, that's a little bit of courage right there. And he's making people miss.
Yeah, he is.
To me, is impressive. This shows me that he played football outside growing up, if that makes sense. He went outside the damn house and played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a lot more physical than maybe some people think. I mean, he's just got all different attributes of speed, explosiveness, can get away from you. But if there is contact to be had, he is going to fight through after the tackle.
Is there a reported weight that he came in recently? Like
195. Yeah, 195. Yep.
Hell yeah. He definitely grew a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he's a receiver down here to the bottom of the screen. I like his shakes about him. Again, it's another stutter and go.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he's able to separate. And then people are making people miss. It's unbelievable.
I'm glad you showed that. That's one of my favorite clips of just showing his acceleration and be able to just make people get off.
Right here, he's a receiver down to the bottom of the screen on the middle of the 20. This is how he's a vertical threat, right? But the big thing is whenever you're on any kind of in-breaking route, out-breaking route, you want to make all the routes look the same. So you want to try to make it look like, hey, I'm going vertical. But he does a good job of putting the brakes on and rolling it, snapping his head and eyes. And quarterbacks, those are one of those little things quarterbacks appreciate. They call them indicators. Like he knows when he's about to break and snap that head. and you can see him and his quarterback got some really good timing. So hopefully, him and Jordan Travis can get together on 7-on-7 a couple times a week and really get on the same wavelength. That was a big thing for us in the summers was it would be like, I think Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, something like that, or Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we would always go out there in the afternoon, and the centers had to go. Nobody else really had to go. But toward the ends of the summer, everybody was so bored. The whole team was there, even the offensive line. Then all of a sudden, everybody jumped in, and it was 11-on-11. And if they're working
Who's
with
leading
that
that? Is
huh?
Who's usually leading that? Is it the quarterback that's making that happen, planning that?
Yeah. So they voluntarily go up to the coach's office and they grab a script for 7-on-7 and just go back on down. And everybody just shows up. And the quarterbacks are the ones that coordinate and they set the time. And everybody just kind of checks. I remember EJ did a great job of it when we were there for most of my time. But really it was Coker and Jameis kind of splitting it, and Sean McGuire that summer going into it, because nobody really knew who was going to be a starter, and we had a feeling, but it was unannounced yet, so it wasn't awkward, but there was definitely like a silent tension there. But I think they did a good job of not showing it and just communicating to everybody when the times were, and it was a good time, especially if you were worried about being overweight. Just go out there and sweat, get a suntan. There might be a girl in the stands running stadiums or something. So, go check them out. Of course, my wife is walking with our daughter, burping her right now.
Perfect timing.
But we said we were going to treat this like very honest. We got true serum in us, right?
Yeah. Dig that hole deeper. Dig that hole.
Yeah. Thank you to my wife and daughter for letting me do this tonight, by the way. Yeah, so it was a good time, and I think that really brought the team together. And next thing you knew, D-line started coming out there, and we were doing one-on-ones, and just turned into a big old 11-on-11 fest.
Nice.
Right here, just ripping the seam ball, switch verts. He does a good job. You see he's the receiver to the very top. He's not got really a press guy on him, but he does a good job attacking inside. And they don't try to pass it off over here with the DBs, so he's able to rip it inside and get right up that seam. And he's got somewhat of, he's 6'1", right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got somewhat of a frame. He's able to shield him off, and that's a hell of a snag right there.
It is.
Great concentration. That's a tough ball to catch over the middle. Not like I would fucking know, but can't imagine. Just another go ball. He's damn near running backwards. This ball, I think, is a little underthrown. Because I feel like he's definitely faster.
Yeah. I think he could have separated even more if he had a ball ahead of him.
And then right here is a tunnel screen. He's a receiver to the top on the 10. Takes 2 steps, comes down in it, snags it. That's a good straight line. Makes people miss. I think there's something to be said for a guy that can catch a ball at the, line of scrimmage and take it this far. That, it's basically, how do you block people without blocking them? All right, we'll just run a quick run play this way, ride the mesh real quick, and throw an RPO or something like that. Like, that's how you get that done.
Well, that's exactly why Mike wanted him in this offense so badly, because it just fits his offense 110% and wants to do.
Dude,
he wants to have the ball in his he wants to have the ball in his playmakers' hands. I mean, he said that in his opening press conference. That's the goal for them and this coaching staff. And Destyn Hill was going to be that prize recruit to do that in this offense. And it took 2 years, but he's here now, and it seems to be a pretty good timing for it.
Hell yeah. And like right here, you can see just, again, a tough guy to break down, gets banged up. I mean, still gets through. All right. So right here, he's this receiver blocking the second widest guy. Sorry, my marker's a little jacked up, but he is blocking. He's right here. But again, just talking about guys that are unselfish and blocking. I think that just says everything. There's a lot of guys out there in the country that can catch, but those are guys that can do both. That's what I appreciate about them. And right here, just hell of a catch, Throw the ball up, makes contested catches. Love it, man. And he's good in like really tight spaces. He's to the bottom over here to the right on the 10. So he's got those quick shakes, and you see his hands. See how he's able to slap the corner's hands down and then swim over the top and then bang it inside. Like, he just got a really good wide receivers coach, or that's kind of a natural feel thing too. And it's just those tiny little things that I really like watching this kid. Right here, he's the receiver to the top, the single receiver. And again, he's about to get the shit knocked down by the safety. I don't know if you can see him, but he ends up catching it. The safety doesn't hit him, and courage right there, man. That takes concentration. That shows you right there. He's not worried about getting the shit knocked out of him. We've all seen it, man. We've all been on the playground growing up. We've all been playing tackle football with the boys down the street, and somebody cringes up real quick before they catch the ball, and he doesn't even flinch.
Oh yeah,
I'm said for that. Again, this dude's dangerous in the red zone, as you can see. Just quick slants all day. He's able to turn his hands over, from here to there and get them. So I can appreciate that. He's got natural, catching skills.
Mm-hmm. He's got reliable hands.
My favorite play is fuck it and chuck it, and that is what this is right here.
Fuck it and chuck it.
Fuck it and chuck it, man. Right there. I mean, where that sun is, shit, that might be hitting him in the eyes. It's a hell of a job catching that ball in the sun.
I instantly think about that throw from J. Trav in New Orleans against LSU last year, and that was a fuck it and chuck it to Pokey, and ended up being 6, and J. Trav took a nasty hit to the head, but that was a chuck it and fuck it.
Yes. That are they playing out there again this year?
It will be in Orlando this year.
Okay.
So they'll be, and it just got announced it'll be a 7. I mean, no shocker. This is top 10 matchup. It's gonna be a prime time 7:30 ABC, ESPN. But
dude, our fans got to chill out on fucking Twitter, man. We talk way too much shit. We're gonna get our ass whooped if we keep fucking around. And the best thing the players can do is don't listen to any of our shit, because we're just saying how great they are. Like, if you players are listening out here, just shut this off right now. Don't worry about it. You just do your job. We'll do ours. We'll talk our bullshit, but don't listen to us. You're not that good. But
just get them riled up a little bit.
Yeah,
keep them humble.
I just hope we don't talk too much shit and it all bites us in the ass.
Yeah, no, FSU fans are full sending it right now on Twitter, and now it's an LSU versus FSU battle, just because Florida and Miami aren't where they're at right now. So FSU's Twitter is trying to find a new opponent on the web. But both teams are coming into this with a lot of talent, experience. Brian Kelly's going to go into his second year with LSU. But the one advantage Florida State's going to have is a home field advantage. Florida State's going to be all over Orlando. They were in New Orleans, but it was more of a 50-50 split. But Florida State definitely showed up and showed out. But this is going to be a heavy FSU crowd. But what Florida State can't do, like you were saying, is overlook and also understand who they're going against. And that's something where I think it's going to be a big test for Mike Norvell and how he sets the attitude and the focus of this team going in this year. This team now has a lot of stuff on their shoulders going into the season, a lot of high expectations. And that's something this team, this program, this administration has not had in 7-8 years. So it's going to be a true test outside of just knowing what to do on the football field. It's going to have to do a lot with your mentals.
Yep. It's definitely been a minute. And the only thing I'm worried about, though, Logan, is you understand the Cajun people, they're crazy and they do travel. And it's a very easy route to get to Orlando. It's I-10 east, 75 south, turns into the turnpike. So they might have a good chance at traveling well because it's a very simple list of directions to get there.
Yeah. I see what you're doing here. Throwing a little shade still.
Shit a little bit. Maybe I should tame it back.
After you just said not to talk any shit.
Yep. Talking just out both sides of the mouth. Sound like Jimbo. Yep. Right here, we at Destyn Hill here, down here to the bottom on the 20. Just run a little out route, 6-stepper. But what I like is he catches the ball. He feels the defender on him just naturally. I don't even know if he sees this ball in, to be honest with you. I think he's got his peripheral on the damn defender, but makes him miss, gets upfield. I mean, he doesn't score, but I mean, he's getting yards after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
Go North, man. It's awesome. Long story short, I love the shit out of this kid, man. All right, so right here,
I knew
he's
you'd like
the receiver to the top. And remember me telling you, hey, I'm going vertical. Boom, put the brakes on, snap your head and eyes, work back down the pole. And again, that quarterback does a hell of a job putting this ball where only he can get it. But it's a great route and great throw, and you can tell they're in good synchronization. And hopefully him and Jordan Travis get that same kind of bond going pretty quickly. It's another example of just making people miss, man. Don't worry, the films for everybody else get pretty short. But again, dude's blocking his ass off right here.
Yeah, he's driving. He got a little pancake there, didn't he? Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's him. I mean, both these receivers are blocking their ass off. But right here, pretty sure he's a number 2 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Put him on his ass.
Yep.
But
hey, you play earlier in Mike Norvell's system if you're able to block. Malik McLean was a true freshman, and we weren't expecting to see him start. But I think 3 or 4 games later, he ended up being a starter. But the biggest part of making it there was blocking, because those games that he was getting put into early on, he was showing out blocking in big time, definitely in the run game. And just about 3 or 4 games later, he ended up being a starter. Funny how that works.
It's almost like a rite of passage. If you can figure out the blocking stuff and know your assignment there, then the coach builds more trust in you. And the next thing you know, like, you're getting thrown to on 2nd and long or 3rd and long, whatever, and you're the guy. Like, just takes time. It takes time. Yep. This is a younger clip of him right here at the number 3 receiver. If you count outside in, just another example. Just he sees zone, he sees it, turns his head out to where that inside linebacker can't get to him. Quarterback puts it on his outside shoulder, and he makes it, and he's just making people miss.
The special ability about him is that immediately he can make someone miss when he's the most vulnerable.
Right. Yeah, that's a great way to word it right there, dude. Shit.
Mm-hmm. That's what I feel like.
I mean, you can see this vertical leap right there at the top, up here to the right.
Wow.
So, he's got some ups. It's a great catch. And then right here, again, just more. This route right here, he's starting from the outside, and he's the number 1 receiver here to the bottom of the screen. And he runs a big-ass dig across the middle of the field and just could give 2 shits. He just finds the hole in the zone. He just kind of throttles down a little bit. He doesn't, try to haul ass and run, get covered. Catches the ball, gets upfield, and just making people miss. I mean, he gets caught right there, but he's at least making one dude miss, like you said.
Yep.
Here's another. Looks like they're running like a form of mesh right here. He's the receiver to the bottom left, but he just runs like a shallow drag across. Quarterback sees him, and he's just able to take the ball and do something with it. Like, again, like those guys that can catch the ball at the line of scrimmage 2-3 yards downfield and turn it into a 20, 50-yard gain, something like that. That's awesome. And again, I think he's going to be a great tunnel screen runner.
Yeah, that's another.
There's no wasted movement. He gets the ball and boom, he's up. He's upfield. Like, he's not dancing a whole bunch.
That's what I was saying.
He might be, but on his film, he wasn't.
Yeah,
he's got a little bit of, again, talking about playing outside when you're a kid, playing out in the yard. I think he did that right here. Again, this is a scramble. The play's broken down. Everybody's covered to one side. He's like, well, I'm open here. Hit me with it. Do something with the ball. I mean, he's just got like reckless abandon for his body. Look at that body control. You see that balance? This is what you call the stumble bum drill. And you practice ball security because naturally when you're on like this, you want that ball to come out from away from your body. But he does a good job keeping that ball tight and have control of his body, getting the damn end zone. So pretty impressive. Get north, right?
Yep.
Moral of the story.
Always go north.